What up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee Dee. Welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another quick reaction video for you guys. Now, in this particular video, they're talking about how many kids are acceptable when dating a woman. So that's what they're briefly talking about in this clip from Nothing But the Truth podcast. Shout out to the Nothing But the Truth podcast. Let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go.
How many children are too many when it comes to dating? Like how many starts to devalue a woman for you as a man? Like, what's the number that's like, I'm a pass?
If I'm just trying to she can have 30 of them motherfuckers. But if I'm trying to be in a relationship with her, I can't go no more than 3, bro.
Sheesh.
I can't go no more than 3. Let me tell you why, and I'm gonna be quick and I'm gonna pass it off. Because by the time we done got up to 3, I don't know. Hey, listen, them doctors do some down there. You slip side up, but you got a little more than 3, and you ain't the same person over and over and over. I ain't trying to come be behind. Now I gotta play stepdaddy to 3. We went from 2 to 5. I can't do that, bro. Like now it's 5 of us. We gotta go on I gotta go on break, take you on vacation with 3 other motherfuckers. I can't do that, bro. Like, I'm not trying to do that. And guess what? I'm loved under the condition I provide. So I got to provide for all 3 of these.
So listen, he said no more than 3 was acceptable. There are some men who wouldn't even accept 3, but I mean, he said no more than 3. So that maybe that's his limit and that's, you know, what he would accept. But the overall point that we're trying to point out is the fact that it's a responsibility, just like it's a responsibility to raise children and raise your own children, but that's your children and your responsibility that you signed up for. It's still a responsibility to take on a woman with multiple children because that becomes your responsibility, even though it's not your children. And so I once again, I think that women, when they say, oh, it's a package deal, they don't add up the cost. They don't think about what it's going to cost to be in your life with and a part of those children's lives. They don't understand the sacrifice that would have to take for that man to take on you and all of your kids. And then they also don't take into consideration what could possibly come about you being the new man in these children's lives. You have to get to know them. A lot of times these kids do know their fathers and the fathers are in the picture. So now you have to be worried about the other dudes, you know, coming back and forth, want to see their kids and interacting with you. It's not always a peaceful situation. A lot of times men are territorial and they still trying to hit up that woman and trying to be with her, and now they want to see their kids, and more than likely these women allow the children's fathers to be in their lives. So now you have to contend with the other fathers. You got to be a real man, as they would say, and be a stand-up guy to not be intimidated, as they would say, by the fathers, and be okay with the fathers coming around, getting the kids. He still has some type of influence on his kids because that's their kids. And then you have to be the provider. You have to pay for these kids. You got to pay for them. You got to pay for her. You got to take care of the household. And nowadays it's even more expensive for a man to have to do that. See, it's not like back in the day when things were cheaper and you could make enough money with a regular job and provide and keep food on the table and make sure all these kids have what they need. It's even more expensive now because a lot of these women don't want to work with a man. They want you to come in and pay it all. So you have to be a super ninja to come in and pay all the bills. They want trips, vacations, hair and nails and everything else. Gucci, Prada, Louis, they want all of these things and you have to provide it. You have to provide it for a woman who has 3 baby daddies, 3 kids. You know, the JJ ain't, it kind of been ran through because it's three different daddies and God knows who else. And you got to come behind all of that and then be the super stepdad of the family. You got to be the Superman in all of this. That takes a lot. And I think a lot of women do not pay attention, nor do they care, some of them, what you have to go through in order to be able to do that and what it will take for you to be able to provide that. And I think they don't realize that. So it's not always just the fact that, there aren't men out there who would be okay with, there are some men, who would be okay with taking on a woman and her kids. But then when he add up the cost, it's like, I pass because maybe I have other options. I could possibly find a woman who don't have as much baggage and it would be a lot easier to date her. And on top of that, if I don't have any kids and I want kids, I could have a child or several with her if she doesn't have any, and we can raise our kids together and build our family together. So I think once again, a lot of women are in their feelings behind this and they don't like it. They try to shame men behind it because they want the outcome. They want to be able to have a man to come in and take on that responsibility or just take on them plus that. And they don't understand why men are rejecting women with multiple children and multiple baby daddies. They just think, oh, you're insecure. You don't love your mother. No, it's not about that, baby. It's a responsibility that comes with that. And they know it because they have to take on the responsibility by themselves. You created these children with men who weren't prepared to be fathers. And now all of the load is on you. And now you just really want a man to come in and pick up the slack. And a lot of men are saying, no, that's not a benefit to me. And a lot of women get mad because I guess they try to shift it onto the man. But if you're mad, you need to be mad at you. This is the consequence of trying to get to the D and trying to change this man into something that's more responsible and picking somebody who is not already responsible. This is the consequence of it, that you would probably have to raise these kids by yourself. It's just mind-boggling to me that even women with all these kids think a man's supposed to come in and do the most. You would think that she would realize that, you know what, I would never expect a man to come in and have to take on all of my heavy load and just do it all, provide it all. I would at least know that I'm coming in and I'm going to, lighten his load. I'm not going to put it all on him because you're already coming in at a disadvantage. What if the man has no kids? Or even if he have kids, the kids are not in his custody. His baby mama probably have the kids the majority of the time. So he only getting the kids part-time. So for him to have to come into a situation and be full-time with somebody else's kids, you would think that the women would be a little bit more understanding and understand that, hey, you got to bring a lot to the table to you know what I mean? To offset the fact that you got all these children. You wouldn't expect the man to come in and just do everything. That you would be willing to work with him because he's willing to work with you. Because really at this point, you're at the disadvantage, not him, because he don't need to do that. He probably living perfectly fine in his condo or his apartment by himself, living good, his bills are managed. And then for him to have to come into a situation where he have children and plus the woman and all this, come on, that he's putting himself at a disadvantage. That's not something that he has to do. So you would think women would be more understanding and bring more to the table, but no, they're still delusional. They still have these superficially high expectations. They still come in asking and expecting the most, because they don't understand the position that this man is being put in, nor do they care. As long as they get what they want, as long as they can have their way, they're cool with it. They don't care what you got to go through and what you got to sacrifice. They don't care. And a lot of them are very selfish. They don't care. They don't have no type of respect for the man. They don't understand boundaries. A lot of them, don't want the man to discipline the children. Then the baby daddies could probably come and go the way they want to. You hear women say all the time, hey, I would never stop the baby daddies from so he can come when he wants. And then a lot of these women protect the baby daddies, even though he's not in the child's life as much. He's not contributing financially, but he still gets some type of recognition and some type of leeway. While this other man's supposed to sit back and just be stupid and sit there and just accept all of that? Hell no, there's no way in the world. So what is the benefit of any man coming in and taking on all of that responsibility when they don't have to? So this is why a lot of men are not doing it. It's not just a fact of, oh, she just have kids. No, it's a responsibility, a major one, to come in and have to take on and then teach these kids and pay for these kids and do all this stuff for them. And who's doing that in 2026? When you've established yourself and you're taking care of yourself and you good, why would you subject yourself to all of that responsibility for somebody else's children when that is not your responsibility? If you found a man who will come in and do that, you need to really be very accommodating to that man. You really need to cater to him. You really need to thank him for doing that, because most men don't want to do that. But there are a lot of women who have men who will step in and do that, and he still get the low end of the stick, or the however you say that. He still get the bottom of the barrel. He still is not respected and looked at as who he is for doing that. There's no love or respect for that. He's just doing it and you expect him to do it, and you don't see what's really happening here. This is why a lot of men aren't doing it. I hope women would understand that and stop shaming men and trying to shame men for coming in and taking on your heavy load and not realizing how much of a load that it would be for him as well. Even if he make good money, that's still a lot to have to deal with and a lot to have to be a part of. But why would he do that when he go find a woman with no kids and still, create a relationship and have his own kids, as opposed to coming in and just filling in for the fathers who are not a part of those children's lives? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just crazy to me. But listen, y'all, let me know what y'all think. Once again, chime in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Comment, like, subscribe. Y'all know what it is. Hit that bell to be notified when I upload new content. Y'all keep the conversation going. Chime in. I definitely want to hear what you got to say about this particular topic. Let me know if you agree, disagree. If you like the content, make sure you leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.